Hi there everyone and welcome to the next edition of our Northwich Podcast, and today I'm with Jonathan Guy. Hi Jonathan.
Hi Ian.
How are you?
Very well, thank you. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. Thank you for coming in.
No, you're very welcome.
So before we get on to talking about your very interesting looking book, and for people that are watching who don't know you, just tell me a bit more about Jonathan Guy. So I know that you live in the Northwich area.
Yeah.
Now, currently?
That's right, yeah.
But you're not a Northwich boy originally?
I'm not, no. Originally coming up through, I grew up in Wales, which was lovely. Lived there until I passed my A-levels and then went to university at Manchester.
Okay.
Fell in love with the Northwest, fell in love with Manchester and stayed, moved to Timperley and then eventually moved out to Northwich, and that was 20 years ago now.
Wow, and I bet that's flown.
It's in a heartbeat, it's gone.
Yeah.
So, and the kids, who I didn't have at the time, are now all grown up and left. So.
They've all left, have they?
Well, just about, yeah.
Okay, and you're married to the lovely Emma?
I am indeed married to the lovely Emma, yes.
So how many children do you have?
We've got 3 kids.
Okay, how old are the kids?
So we've got Gabriella, who's 27, Marcus, who's 25, and William, who is nearly 18.
Right, okay. And so the older two have flown the nest. William's John Dean's, is he?
John Dean's, that's right, yes. So it's ideal for where we live, because we can't get much closer because we live on the Crescent in Northwich, which is wonderful. It
is, isn't it? Now, obviously, I know it there very well, but just tell me what the sort of things you like about living in that part of Northwich.
There's a whole range of reasons for it. First of all, it's a great little neighbourhood. The street's lovely, the neighbours are lovely. We share stuff between ourselves. It's a really good community. The second thing is, of course, the ease of access into town, because you can just walk into town. Yeah. And many days it's a lot quicker to do that, particularly on a Saturday, than to drive in. Yeah. So if we're not going to go and get shopping, then a backpack on and we'll wander in. But there's also, within sort of 5 minutes, you're in the countryside effectively. Yeah. So there's Huntslock's just across the way, the River Weaver, and of course you've got Marshall's Arm Nature Reserve there as well. So it's a lovely little spot to be in. Yeah,
it is. I agree. I go running, because I live in Davenham, as you know, and I go running all the way, and I run down onto the Crescent, onto the river, and it's just early on a weekend morning. I think it's absolute bliss down there.
It's wonderful. No one's around then.
No, exactly. I love it. Yeah, it's nice. Okay, fab. So I suppose at the weekends, when you've got a bit of free time, what sort of things do you like doing around the Northwich area?
Well, quite enjoy going out for walks, which is wonderful, and there's plenty of those that you can have. I do like going around the flashes, because occasionally I do a bit of bird watching, so that's a great relaxation, great stress reliever. And you can wander around for hours in there. And of course, Marbury Country Park as well, which is right on the doorstep. And then when we're feeling a little tired and thirsty, we'll repair to somewhere like the Hayhurst Arms in Bostock, which is our favourite haunt at the moment. Yeah. And the team down there are great. They look after us. And it's good for a meal as well. So,
it is.
Yeah, really enjoy that.
And on a summer's day at the Hayhurst, sat outside overlooking the old cricket pitch there is fab, isn't it?
It's wonderful.
Yeah, lovely.
Bliss.
Bliss. Cool. Okay. So professionally then, obviously your book is called Search Never Sleeps, and that'll give you a bit of a clue as to what you do. But I know you set up your business, Aqueous Digital, how many years ago was that?
It was 2011, so it's 12 years now. We've gone past our 12th anniversary. And it was set up in Northwich, in a back bedroom effectively. And from a little idea about, we should be doing something to help customers. We've now got 12 years on to a book about it, which is quite strange really, because the book actually is ideal for people who have got their own businesses, who have to deal with websites, but the kind of firms we now deal with are much larger, and we deal with marketing departments and so on. Okay. So it's ironic that at the point where we've grown to the stage where we're not really dealing with smaller businesses anymore, this book is aimed at smaller businesses.
Okay. But it's all come from your experience.
It's distilling everything I've done in the last 40 years, because I've trained I'm a chartered marketer and have been for 20 years. I've been in sales for 40 years now, and in the digital marketing arena for the last 12 to 15 years. So all of that stuff has come together into one simple book in plain English, so anybody can read it and understand it. Genuinely, anybody can. And just to explain to people why websites and Google work the way they do.
Okay, so before you move on to the book then, Aqueous is a digital marketing agency.
Yeah, we specialise in search engine optimization and pay-per-click. So if your customers need to do some research before they come to you, before they find you as a business, that's who we help. Any business like that.
And the company's just organically grown to serve larger businesses as it's gone along?
Yeah. We've just kind of got bigger and bigger customers, and the work we're doing is scalable. So the more customers we get, the more staff we've got, and now we're employing 28 people. So and a good, almost a quarter of the staff are local to Northwich, Tarporley, Warrington. So they're all in sort of the northwest area.
That's nice, isn't it?
It is. It's brilliant.
You must be very proud of what you've achieved.
I try not to be proud. I'm proud of them for what they've achieved, because we're at the stage now where they're the ones doing all the hard yards. They're the ones who actually deserve all the plaudits.
That's lovely.
I'm just grateful that I'm allowed to be in this position. It's quite privileged, really, to actually watch a firm grow and to still be there.
You should have. You should be proud of it though, because you've worked hard to get to this stage, haven't you?
Yeah.
It's not happened by accident, has it?
No, I mean, earlier this year we won the Best Large Family Business Awards at the Halton Business Awards, and it's one of those that the photograph of everyone on stage for me sums everything up, because right in the middle of that arc of people, and we all got on stage, right in the middle are the youngsters.
Yeah.
The kids have been with us only a few weeks in some cases, and they're holding the trophy.
Brilliant.
And at the very edges, you'll see the directors. With the directors are all at the extremities, and all of us are going, it's all about them.
That's
because
great.
it is.
Well, it is. I mean, we were discussing before we came on air, weren't we, the team and how we're growing a team here at Storeys, and whenever I put stuff on social, I always try and credit the whole team, because you couldn't do it without the team, could you?
No,
you wouldn't
absolutely.
be there.
No, exactly. And if you're going to grow a business, any business, you need great people surrounding you. And that's what we've done. We've just employed great people as we've gone along, and we spend a lot of money on training and development and supporting them as well. There's a lot of, we're a living wage employer, for example. We have been for the last 5 years. And that was a deliberate move on our part to make sure that all of our people were paid a good wage for what they do. And all of them are way exceeding that now. They've scaled very rapidly.
Yeah, great, fantastic, good for you. So let's move on to the book that I have in my hands here then. So the colours will be of note to a lot of people.
Yes, so for legal reasons, those colours are at least a Pantone away.
I did wonder that when I picked it up.
They're at least one Pantone off a very well-known search engine.
Yes.
Whose name I can't mention on the cover of the book. However, inside the book, it's based around my 3 rules of Google, and we can say the name. And the reason for that is because everybody uses Google pretty much in the UK, and it is the dominant player in the market. And so it's very much about understanding, well, if you are looking for stuff on Google, how does Google know not only what you're looking for, because it sometimes gives you the full question you're typing in before you get there, it knows the answer to your question, and it does it in less than half a second.
Yeah, wow.
That's brilliant, isn't it?
Yes.
So, and the reason they do that is because they want you to come back and ask it more questions, because the more questions you ask, the more chance it's got of showing you advertising, the more money they can make from that. But from your point of view as an individual, you just want the right answer.
Of course.
And you don't care how you get it, you just want the right answer. Well, of course, Google's job is to go and find the right answer. So it has to crawl the entire internet to go, well, what answers are people providing out here that we could then show back to our customers? And this is where this comes in, because it explains, if you've got a website, how you can create the right answers so that when your potential customers are looking, Google shows you and not your competitors.
Yeah.
And that's, in a nutshell, what it's about.
You say in a nutshell, there's a lot of information in here, isn't there?
It's 318 pages, 100,000 words, and 2.5 years of hard work to distill it. And the biggest and hardest bit was it was 120,000 words, and it's now 100,000.
Right, yeah, okay.
And the hardest bit was getting a professional editor, and I have to say, Sian, Ellen Flint did a fantastic job for us. She helped me distill that into something which anybody can read. It's in plain English.
Yes.
There's no geeky stuff.
No, I can tell. I was saying before we came on air that even just the layout of it, it feels like you could pick it up and very easily digest the info.
And the way it's set out, you can dip in and out as well. So I've broken it all down into chapters and into subsegments within the chapters, and there's a very nice index at the front. So you can literally use it to dip into the bit that you want at the time you want it, and then that's it, you're done. But the only bit you need to read is the first couple of chapters, which is what the history is, and the 3 rules of Google. And once you've got the 3 rules, everything else flows.
Fits into place.
Yeah.
Fascinating. So when was it published? When did you launch?
September, so earlier this month. So
Okay.
it was September 2023. As I say, and that was 2.5 years after we started. And the start point was the funny bit, because our marketing manager, Christian, at the time, he was a marketing manager, he's a marketing director now. He came to me and said, you know those 3 rules of Google you got? Do you think you could write that for the website? Could you do 1,000, 2,000 words or something like that we could use as an article? I said, yeah, not a problem. And I then went away and came back with 5,000 words. And he said, that's great, except it's too long. Could you add a bit more to it? We'll turn it into an ebook. And that was the start of it. So in his copy, which he now has on his desk, I've actually signed it for him, and it says, to Christian, this is your fault.
Very good.
And it is. I blame him entirely. And he's a local lad as well. He's from Weaverham. So.
Okay, brilliant.
So yeah, that was the sort of the background to it. And the more I got into it, the more I wrote, the more I realised that this wasn't for me, and it wasn't for big businesses, and it's not some kind of weird book for SEO geeks, because they already know this stuff.
Yeah.
In fact, quite a lot of the stuff in there I don't tell people how to do, because there's better resources online.
Okay,
and if I put it in print, it would be out of date anyway by the time it comes out.
Yeah, okay.
What I have tried to do is to say, well, look, if you want to know how to, here's some great guides, because they'll update them online. But in there, it tells you why you're doing it, and what's important when you are doing it. And that's the bit that isn't covered normally. So it's a simple guide for anybody who wants to understand. You've got a website, you'd like it to go higher up Google. How do I do that? And why am I doing it?
Yeah,
and what changes when I make them will make the biggest impact.
Fantastic. So have you started selling them?
Oh, yes. Oh, it's available on Amazon now. You can either go direct to Amazon and go and search Never Sleeps.
Yeah.
Or you can go to our website, which is searchneversleeps.com, follow the link from there. And on release, it went to number 1 in its category on day 1, which is great.
Well,
so I was dead pleased about that.
Well done.
And it's selling every day now, and now it's 3 weeks in. The reviews are starting to come through, and you can read them on Amazon. You can see what people are saying about it, and these are people who have genuinely bought the book and gone, actually, I'll leave a review for that.
Yeah, that's great.
So, yeah, I like that.
Congratulations.
Thank you. That's great.
Well, I've already said you should be proud of your business, but you should be proud of this as well, Jonathan.
Yeah.
It's a lot of hard work.
As I say, pride is one of those things. I'm kind of moving on to the next bit. Somebody actually said to me, what's your next book? I said, no.
One's enough.
No, one's enough. So another one of my friends actually messaged me to say perhaps it should be Shopping Never Sleeps.
Very good. So maybe you could give our viewers a top tip, or a couple of top tips for...
I'll give them the 3 rules.
Okay.
The 3 rules are the easiest bit, because once you've got those fixed in your head, then everything else that I write makes sense. And in fact, even if you don't buy the book, these 3 rules still work.
Okay, so these are the 3 rules here.
There you go. So rule 1, Google is just a machine. People forget that. They kind of give it a personality, but it's not. It's a big machine. It's a very clever machine, don't get me wrong. It does brilliant things, but it's a machine. So you need to understand that if you're working with the machine, you've got to figure out what it wants to do, what it's trying to do, what it's programmed to do. And then if you supply it with what it wants, it'll help you. Which brings us to rule number 2, which is nothing beats great content. Content is absolutely critical, because where do you think Google gets the answers from? It's other people's content. It crawls it and it indexes it. And rule 3 is 1 page, 1 keyword or phrase. So for each thing you're trying to talk about, just talk about that thing at that one time. Don't mix everything up. And I'll give you the best example. Back in the day, I used to work for Yellow Pages. Remember that big old yellow book that used to come through? And I used to go and see roofers who'd want to get a nice little quarter column in the book, which was lovely, and they'd put everything in there. We do building, roofing, plumbing, tiling.
Yes.
And it's a jack of all trades, which is great. And as soon as the internet came along, they took that idea and put it on the internet. And Google came and crawled it and went, well, I'll put you under builders then. And if anyone searches for tiling, roofing, plumbing, or artexing, I'm not going to show you because you're a builder. But if they thought it through and said, well, I can have lots of different pages now. I'll have one page for building, one page for plumbing, one page for roofing.
Yeah, okay.
Google then says, oh, right, you can do that on its own. I'll rank you for that then. And that's why you have different pages for different things.
Interesting.
It is, yeah. But it's about keeping the message very, very simple.
Yeah.
Don't try and mix things up.
No.
Don't try and confuse people with what you do.
No.
It's like if you go to a business meeting, they say, you've got an elevator pitch. You've got 15 seconds to tell me what you do.
Yes.
In a nutshell.
Yes.
You can't say, well, we dress houses, we sell houses, we market and we negotiate.
No.
You can't say that.
Got long enough.
You've got 15 seconds to tell people exactly why they should choose you and
brilliant.
what it is you do.
That's brilliant, 'cause I've literally just tweaked the hero title
Yeah, absolutely.
on our webpage this week, because it was talking about the different towns that we cover, and I've just gone to Cheshire.
Yes.
Because part of you think, well, you do want to be a bit more local, but also people don't sit and read forever, do they? And go to Google,
Well, again, to rank for all those areas, you put them in the base of your page.
Yes.
The title tag on your home page is about what you do, which is estate agents or selling property.
Yes.
Correct.
That's right.
That's exactly. So that's whatever the phrase is that people are looking for.
Yes.
That's the phrase that needs to be up there.
Okay.
And your name, by the way, comes last.
Yes.
Because unless you're a household name and they know by default what you do.
Yes.
Then what they're looking for is the thing that they want to buy.
Yes.
The service they need or the product they need.
Yes.
Not who's supplying it.
No. Okay.
So who's supplying it comes second. What you do comes first.
Brilliant. That was fascinating. Thank you very much.
It's all right. I could talk about this all day, but I know we haven't got time for this.
No, but still.
But this is why that has become about because there is so much knowledge here that just needs to get out, and it's all in there. I put everything I've learned in 40 years into that book,
Brilliant.
including some entertaining quotes as well, which people will spot when they go through. So
And this is my copy, is it?
that's your copy, and I will sign it for you just
Thank
now. You're very welcome.
Anything else to mention, discuss while we're here, while we're chatting, or have we sort of summarised things quite well there?
Just to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about the book, because as you can tell, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I can.
And if people would like to get a copy, they can go to Amazon and get a copy from there. And Amazon, by the way, have managed to conveniently reduce the price since I've started selling it, so you can get it at about a third off at the moment,
right, okay.
Which is a real bargain. It'll probably change by the time this podcast goes out because the price goes up and down on a daily basis.
Okay.
But roughly it's a third off at this moment in time, and it's still with free delivery as well.
Right, okay, fab. Good. Well, hope you enjoyed that episode, everyone. It was interesting. Go and check out the book. Cheers, Jonathan.
Thanks, Ian.
Come on.
Bye.